RTTV is sponsored by... Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Blaine. I'm Blaine.
I'm Barbara.
And I'm Gus. Hello, friends. How's everyone doing today?
I like
Hello.
that you don't say hello to us before you say hello to ExpressVPN. It's a bit rude.
Well, they're paying me. You aren't.
Yeah, but we've known each other for years.
if you want to Apple Pay me something right now, we can redo the intro.
Gus, if I Apple paid you 20 cents, would you introduce me first next time?
20 cents. Oh, Gavin, how much for you to be introduced first?
A whole $1.
Oh, what do you got for that, Barbara?
$1.01.
Guys,
I want to throw my bid in. I'll move your refrigerator and vacuum behind it.
Yo, that's priceless.
Well, why do you offer that? Did you have to move your fridge and vacuum? That's a weird offer to make.
I know, but it's something I'm uniquely qualified in this group for.
We were just before the podcast talking about what Blaine's maximum strength basically is. And
He's about a 16, I think.
You could leg press, what was it, 900 up to 900, you think, pounds?
I'm trying to use a reference for when I was a kid and I was first getting into shape. I was able to put up like 600 some on the leg press at least. And my legs were a lot weaker than they are now. So I'm not sure. I am not saying that I have leg pressed 1,000 pounds in recently, but
What's that, like half a ton?
yes.
Let me do the math. Yes.
I don't know. I'm not metric. What is the...
You're not metric? We are?
I'm like, well, no, I mean, like, like a metric ton is
What'd you
what
call
I
me?
know. But I don't know. England's
But
uses both, I
you've
think.
lived here for 8 years.
I don't really deal with tons a lot.
You don't
when
deal
I'm
with them a
buying
ton?
food. Not a ton.
Hey, what's your thermostat set to? Is it Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Yeah, it's Fahrenheit.
Is it Fahrenheit or Celsius? Yeah,
Well, I live with an American.
you do. Mine's Fahrenheit. I've always done Fahrenheit for my thermostat, even when I lived in Canada. I think
Is
it's
that
a
because
little
of
more
your parents? Are
No,
they, like,
I mean, they're
pre-Celsius?
Canadian.
No.
What was the question?
No, I mean, they might be old enough to remember the pre-Celsius times.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure they do, but I guess it's like when you're doing body temperature, it makes more sense to do Fahrenheit because your body's
'Cause
a
it's
little
more
bit
accurate?
more temperate. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you could do like decimals
Sure.
and stuff for Celsius.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
mean,
difference to me between 72 and 73 is drastic. I don't know about you guys.
How many stones can you leg press, Blaine?
It's 14 pounds
Eric
of stone.
Eric was asking. Well, it depends on how heavy the stones are. Eric was asking me if he was caught under a 900-pound boulder, if I could get him out, and I think I could if there was something that I had like something to leverage the weight against. So like if I was like up against a wall, and I could put my back on it, and then I could just go like.
Otherwise, you'd slide away.
There he goes.
Yeah, because if it's just like a flat surface, then he's fucked.
I did that recently. I moved my bed to change a light bulb, and when I
What?
tried to push it, what?
You moved a bed to change a light bulb?
Where's this light bulb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, it
'cause I-
doesn't. Where's
I
the
don't
light
wanna-
bulb?
Above the bed. I don't want to put a ladder on the bed. What do you mean?
Oh, so you
Okay,
moved the...
okay.
Right. So I moved the bed out.
Oh, I was like,
I don't
why don't
understand
you
why
just
this is
stand on your
confusing.
bed? I thought you could just stand on your bed to change light bulb, but I guess if it's like somewhat taller, or I don't know.
No,
I
it was-
thought
it
there
was
was a
like
light bulb
slight-
underneath the bed. I was like, why?
No, so I pulled it just fine. I pulled it out, went up there, changed it, and then when I went to push it in, I like forcefully pushed the bed, but it's a wooden floor, so I just slid backwards, and both of my legs went under the TV unit, and I was just like against the wall under my TV console.
I love the
That's the
difference between
saddest.
that story and Blaine saying he could like press 900 pounds back to back.
Yep.
A few months ago, before work from home and everything, I was doing some what do you call it, yard work. I wanted to get a big rock to put in my yard, and let me tell you, I vastly underestimated how heavy rocks are. There's a place you can go to where you can buy big rocks. They call them boulders, but I'm remiss to call them boulders because it's only like this big, maybe.
It's like a baby boulder.
What is that? 3.5 feet tall, maybe. So I go down there and I'm like, I'm looking around this place and they have a bunch of rocks like this. I'm like, that's the one I want. And so I go into the office and I'm like, hey, how does this work if I want to buy one of the rocks out there? Do I like bring it to you or do I put it in my car? How does that work? And he looked at me like I was the stupidest person in the world. And I realized why, because he's like, no, we have someone with a forklift who goes and picks it up for you. They'll weigh it and then they'll load it for you. I was like, oh, okay. In my head, I was like, how much does a rock weigh? I don't know. The fucking rock weighs 600 pounds.
Dude.
So then I was like, well, obviously I'm not going to put that in my car. I mean, I could have, but so I was like, okay, y'all deliver? He's like, yeah, it's like $20 to deliver it. I was like, oh, for a 600-pound rock? That's a steal. I was like, yeah, $20, I'll pay that. It's like, all right, we'll deliver it. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, they're going to send a guy with a forklift again. It's going to be like a whole deal. It's going to be like a team of guys who are going to pick it up and put it where I want. It's one guy who shows up and he's got like a pickup truck with a trailer and the rock is in the back. And I'm like, how are you?
Dwayne Johnson?
I'm like, how are you going to get that off of there? He's like, oh, I'm just going to roll it off into the street right here. I'm like, but I don't need it in the street. I need it over there. And it's like even much further away. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, you can move it. I'm like, well, no, I can't. So he unloads the rock and it's just like on the curb in front of my house. And it sat there for like a week and I kept trying different things to move it. I would like try to roll it end over end and I just couldn't do it. It was like, because I couldn't get it up on the curb. I was like, I bought this thing off of Amazon that supposedly helps you lift like appliances and stuff, but because it's like an irregular shape, it didn't work.
So you're out there with this like apparatus trying to attach it to a rock.
An
Wait,
exosuit.
They didn't end up helping you move it to where you needed it
No,
to go?
he left it there. It was there for like a week and a half, and eventually, like my brother-in-law came over, and I was like, "Listen, we got to move this rock from here, like all the way over there." And I was like, "Don't hurt yourself. You know, if it's too heavy, let me know. I'll see if we can invite more people over. We'll figure something out." But yeah, he helped me, and we moved it, and it was the dumbest, heaviest thing I've ever had to lift in my life. Rocks are fucking heavy. It wasn't that big, but it was 600 pounds.
It's also because you can't really get a grip anywhere, right? So it's not even the fact that it's like heavy, but it's awkwardly shaped.
Yeah, it was a fucking nightmare. And then it's like, and then we put it down, and then I was like, oh, thanks. But you know, that's really not how I want it. We need to move it now. So then we had to like flip it over and get it.
Wait, how long ago was that?
Oh yeah, it was absolutely worth it. That was probably back in October, I think. Maybe it was in October.
This October? Or like most recent October?
Last October?
Yeah, that's almost a year ago.
How close were you to calling me? I want to know.
You were my backup plan. If it didn't work with my brother-in-law, I was going to be like, I'm going to get Blaine out here to help.
Who do you think the actual strongest person at Rooster Teeth is, though? Sorry to interrupt you, Gavin.
Wait, who is it?
Who do you think the actual strongest person at this company is?
I genuinely think it was Adam Ellis. I think I'm probably... I honestly don't know. I think it was definitely Adam Ellis for a time. Because Adam Ellis did this fucking crazy thing where he went up to a water cooler, and you know how they have like the big water jugs? I don't know how many gallons are in those things. Probably like 10? I don't know. Anyways, he like went up to it, grabbed it by the top, and just yanked it, and it came up into the air, and then he caught it.
Jesus.
And it was the most athletic thing I've ever seen. He flipped it and just put it on no problem. And like he did it effortlessly. And I was like trying, like I could lift it up, but like even the throw, it didn't nearly get enough like air for me to like then grab it. It was crazy. That guy's stupid strong.
Dude. You might take the cake, yeah. What were you gonna say, Geff?
Blaine was Turney's first choice for moving that DDR machine when it got delivered, right?
Oh yeah. Did I do that?
It just got.
I did that.
I think you did. It just got dumped in the driveway on a pallet, and then the guy drove off, and she was like, "Well, it's quite big."
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I came over. I remember coming over to help move that giant fucking thing.
Why didn't you call Gus?
I'm all about it. I'm too strong. That's the problem. I would have I would have done like Kovic with the water bottle. I would have popped it in the air and then grabbed it, and
that's why you didn't move your. That's why you didn't move your rock, because you didn't want just like a load of gravel.
You didn't want to crumble it.
Of course,
you would have just eviscerated it.
You know those restaurants that have like schemes where it's like, hey, you know, play the 32-ounce steak challenge. You know, if you can eat it in 20 minutes, then you get it for free. That rock place should do that as well, where they're like, if you can move your own boulder, you can have it.
And the
That'd be
boulder's
pretty
not
good.
even that expensive. I think the boulder was so cheap. They charged like by the pound. I don't remember how much it was, but I was like, oh, you can get a lot of rock for not that
It
much
was
money.
$600.
It was not $600.
Oh.
It was way less than that.
It's just a good marketing scheme. Was this Austin, the place that has the billboard where the lady's sitting in that piece of amethyst or whatever?
No, but let me tell you, I went there. They charge way more for their rocks there. The same rock was like quadruple the price there. I went to a
They're
different place. It was
minerals,
much cheaper.
Marie. God
Yeah.
damn it.
Really?
Isn't
But
it?
yeah,
It's
I
Marie,
went,
right?
I went.
Yeah.
I went there and I looked there also.
I bet they have like prettier rocks because they have like the diamondy looking like jewels, and those are like the kinds of places that like ladies that do the crystal worshipping chakra stuff go to. Probably, I probably offended a bunch of people just by saying that.
Speaking
What,
of-
'cause it's a load of
dumb.
bollocks.
The Goop followers.
One time I did go there. The first time I ever went into that store, I did overhear two of the employees shit talking someone else's aura. So yeah, I think you are correct, Blaine, in your
What was
assessment of
wrong
that
with their
place.
aura?
They said that some other customer had walked in and had this really negative aura about them and had changed realigned some. I don't know. I was trying not to listen, dude. I don't fucking know.
Oh, I would have been glued to that conversation.
Yeah, no, I was not about it. But yeah, rocks. They're
I
heavy.
bought something really dumb as well recently. It wasn't a rock, and it wasn't something I couldn't move myself. I bought this at this point months ago, and it was on back order, and it just arrived, and I almost forgot about it. I bought a phone charger that's also a sanitizer, so it cleans your phone via, I think, UV.
They were in
Okay,
Shark Tank, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. It looks like this. It looks like kind of like a vase or a vase, depending on how you say it. And you put your phone in like this, and
Okay.
it charges it, and also sanitizes it. I don't need that. I don't go anywhere. I'm not making my phone dirty.
But
It's such a
It
stupid.
doesn't hurt, does it? I mean, there's no downside to cleaning your phone.
I guess not, but I don't like. Does that actually work? Is it gonna work? I don't know.
Well,
how
I know that like
technology is.
UVC can sterilize surfaces and liquids. But I mean,
Yeah,
a
but then-
phone, even outside of COVID, a phone is a pretty gammy device. It's got all
True.
butt on it and stuff.
It's just such a big dumb thing. Like when I first bought it, I thought it was going to be a little smaller, but it's so clunky.
I think that's a
There you
great
go.
investment because even when I'm out and I'm like touched handles to leave my apartment, then on my phone I still touch it.
True.
Dutch. I've taken to spraying down my phone with rubbing alcohol like once a day just to try to sanitize it.
Yeah, that's smart.
Dude, I keep getting cuts on my fucking hands and the sanitizer. 2 complaints. Sanitizer, it's just murdering all the tiny cuts that I constantly get in my hand. And the other thing is I had to go pick up an order from somewhere and they had hand sanitizer out and it was like mango scented or smelling sanitizer. And it basically smelled like someone pissed into a bottle of birthday cake flavored vodka. It was the worst smell ever. So like, let's not do scented hand sanitizers, please. It was
There's
rough.
some that smell really good.
Yes,
I
and then
will
there's
say.
some that smell like ass, and they made me and Kelly were gagging because it's just like,
But at least you're clean.
maybe I don't know. Yeah,
Just bathe in it. Smell it all day.
I'm eating my edamame. I was telling you guys this earlier. I can't. touch it with
Edamame?
I'm an edadaddy. I'm eating my edamame with these fingers because I have a cut on my thumb, and it's real bad. I hope my finger.
I like how you're doing the beauty vlogger thing where you hold your hand up in front of the item so it focuses on it.
I learned that from Drew.
It's a good move.
Barbara, in chat here, who's this? DF Zameta says that UVC does eliminate viruses.
Oh, perfect. Well, now I don't feel so dumb about this. I'm going to put my phone in it.
Yeah, but it looks dumb.
Yeah, I know. It looks really stupid. It arrived. I went, oh, yeah. And Trevor was like, what the hell is that? What did you order?
Well, at least you don't have to like fuck with it. You can just toss your phone in there. Like you don't have to worry about aligning a
Yeah.
cable or anything. You just like kind of wing it in there.
It's also nice because I'm sure a lot of people watching know this about me. I get distracted by my phone because work literally never stops. And having it back here in the charger forces me not to look at it or interact with it. So it's kind of helpful in that sense too. So I
Why
guess
don't you
it's
just
not the
set up
dumbest
like
thing.
a do not disturb or something after 7 p.m. or something?
That would be nice. Maybe I should do that and see if it actually works for me.
Barbara is always on, and Chris and I just took vacation. It just happened to line up at the same time, and I think
Yeah, it
Gus,
just
you had
happened to.
vacation. we hung out together. I'm kidding, we didn't. Gus, you had vacation right before us. John's on vacation this week, and I think Barb, you're coming up. Man, we all need vacation because like I came back with like way better recharged batteries.
Yeah, I saw some people in the Rooster Teeth subreddit were concerned about like some of us talking about like
Being
all the
burnt
work
out.
from home and being burnt out and stuff. And yeah, I think like Todd and Carrie and some people went in there and made some posts that we really are being encouraged to like take some time off and try to cut back. So don't feel like
it's also
we're intentionally being worked into the ground or anything.
yeah, and I think a level of being burnt out not only comes from the work we're doing, but also just the state of the world and the heaviness of everything. So feeling burnt out is not necessarily the fact that we're working all the time, which I mean, we do have a lot to do and it takes up the majority of our days. But I think for me personally, I'm feeling burnt out just emotionally as well, just because it's scary and I'm anxious.
Like
Yeah.
I appreciate the concern in the subreddit, but yeah, especially with Achievement Hunter, like I feel like we just still really like playing video games and making content, and it's like it's good for us to because I feel like at the moment going to sleep and waking up doesn't give me the same rest because you wake up and you're like, oh, damn it, world.
Yeah.
So it's for us, or for me anyway. I like the distraction, and we're all very encouraged to take breaks if it's a little bit too much.
I just
Something
like. Oh, go ahead.
no, you go for it, Blaine.
I was gonna say I just like whenever my friends are taking vacation because I like hearing the stories that they come back to content with because they're actually like sometimes going out and doing things that they wouldn't otherwise because of work. Like Kelly and I went camping and that was a fucking blast, and I'll probably talk about it a little bit more. But like, I'm hoping that John goes out and does stuff. I think Barbara, you were telling me something about some of your plans. Like I just. Just going out and like experiencing something outside of these four walls is.
I also, I'm excited for it. I don't know if I've ever. Well, there's been other vacations I've been excited for, but I'm so looking forward to this time off. Just because it's been a really tough few months, and this is the first time I'll be able to like fully turn off for a lengthy period of time. So I'm excited about that. I also just quickly want to address Queso in chat said that I literally just said work never ends, which I did say that, and what I meant by that is we at Rooster Teeth don't take breaks from content. We're constantly producing stuff and we're constantly putting out things every day on our various channels and live streams and stuff like that. So that's what I meant by the work never ends. Not like, oh, I'm up from 8 a.m. to midnight, literally just working all the time. That's not what I meant by that. Absolutely. So I just want to clear that up.
It's not a job that's finished. You're never
Right.
like, and done.
Right.
There's more to do.
I'm like, oh wait, no, we have to make another video.
But then there's different. I feel like different projects take different amounts of like mental energy and like add different amounts of exhaustion. Like it's weird. I feel like whenever we're doing something live, like a live stream or like the live version of the podcast, I feel like it's more mentally taxing than something that's pre-recorded. Just because like I'm always nervous that we're going to stop or that something's going to happen and that it's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you pre-tape, it's like, oh, we can just edit that out. But when it's live, I just feel like an extra little bit of anxiety and nerves. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way about different projects.
Was it mentally taxing for you when you were playing Factorio with John Reisinger?
No, because that was pre-taped, so it was fine.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
You just had to bring that up, huh? It's also, I think, an important note too, and I'm sure you guys experience this too. We're used to making content like around each other and together, and before and after you actually film the content, you get to interact and socialize and kind of like bask in the fun of all of it. Whereas now what we're doing, it's you show up to a recording or a stream, you do it, and then it's like, all right, see ya. Like it's not the same type of socializing that we were used to. So that also could kind of take a toll on you, both personally and also professionally as a performer, where you just turn on and turn off. And it's not like a gradual kind of balance like we're used to.
Yeah, and I also want to say, I don't want like people to take it out of context. I don't want to make it seem like we have the hardest job in the world or anything. I know that we're very fortunate to have the jobs we have. I'm only bringing this up because I know there had been concern about it posted online. So that's why we're addressing it now. We're not having a pity party, right? It's not like poor us. We're working so hard. We know there's tons of other people doing much more important jobs that are working harder. We're just trying to give, I think, the perspective on how we're experiencing it right now, and just to let you know. Yeah. Hopefully we're doing okay. We're trying to do our best to balance it all. Just I guess a little peek behind the curtain as to what's going on.
We're just being personal with you guys. You're friends.
I'm super grateful for Rooster Teeth. Like,
absolutely,
it's just been nice to be in this kind of work environment through all this stuff, because less fortunate people are kind of suffering right now. But yeah, I'm stoked for John. I think he's just kicking it and reading comic books this week, and that just sounds like just perfect.
Dude, John has been a fucking warrior for Rooster Teeth in the last, I mean, always, but especially during quarantine. He's been leading the charge on so much stuff that we've been doing, and really being like such an important person in that group for getting shit done and getting ideas out there. So he deserves a very long vacation. He's been kicking ass.
Brings a lot of dad energy. Just like a lot of structure, you know?
Yeah.
Was it his idea to play that Superliminal game?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that. That was pretty funny. Oh, it was with all you guys, right?
Mm-hmm. It was.
I ended up buying it. I have it on my Xbox now. I started playing it a few days ago. It's fun.
My backlog is so full, so that's like next on my list. There's so many games.
It's interesting to see how you tackled them, all the puzzles differently. I know there was a lot cut, but
dude, it was so funny because I was the first to go, and like figuring everything out. I like to take my time with puzzles typically, because I'll like try to see every element of it and try to like explore the entire room and all that. Like,
and Blaine was like, I don't want to look at anything for more than 2 seconds.
He was just barreling through it.
But it was frustrating because even like the first puzzle where you're figuring out the perspective of one of the pieces, I didn't understand what it meant, so I just kept picking up everything and like dropping it. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. What am I doing wrong? And then John's like, just try moving, and then it instantly clicked for me. But to watch the other guys do it and get it immediately, I was so pissed. Like,
no, you were. It was like different mindsets, because you were like, I'm gonna be entertaining and like milk this and stuff like that, and I was just like, I'm gonna win, which is like, it kind of sucks because like in the comments, I feel like there's just like Blaine win fatigue. Like everyone's just like, why is Blaine always trying to win stuff? He's so competitive, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, they were probably happy to see you actually try and then win for once. So I mean, that was at least a little refreshing for them.
Right.
But yeah, it's interesting. I like watching. So like Meg played Last of Us 2 before I did, and then I played it. And it was interesting because she was watching me play it. How much stuff I did that she didn't, and how much stuff I was about to miss, but she let me know that she did. Because in my head, I was being really thorough. I was like looting everything, and I would just like, I might miss a safe. And she's like, there's a safe back there. I was like, what? I've looked at, oh shit, there is a safe. And then there'll be stuff that I did where she never found it. And it's like, it makes me wish that I had someone watching me play everything to see how much I'd missed from like good games. Like I say, like, oh, I played all of Skyrim. I've done all the DLC. But how much cool stuff have I just missed, and I don't even know I missed, and I will never know that I've missed in that game.
It's really fascinating when essentially like no two people will have the same gaming experience in the same game.
Yeah, unless it's like super linear.
Yeah.
To an extreme.
Yeah.
When I was playing Last of Us 2, anytime I came across a note that had like a combination for a safe, I wouldn't write it down. I just take my phone out and take a picture of the screen and then just put my phone down. Then when I got to the safe, I just pick my phone up and look at the picture to see what the combination was to open it. Just because I didn't want to have to try to bother writing it down or doing anything. I was like, no, I'll just take a photo.
You can't memorize 6 digits?
Well, because I don't know if I'd find it right away, or like I didn't want to be thinking about it. It's like, yeah, just take a photo, find it.
I would spend like the next 15 minutes searching for the safe, just saying like 06512, 06512. You like just like saying the thing over and over. Yeah.
We were playing D&D last week on our show Dice Cast, which a lot of people have been asking where you can find it. It's on the Rooster Teeth website. It has its own series page. So if you're watching this on YouTube, head over to roosterteeth.com to watch it all for free. But plug over, Gus gave us a sequence of numbers that we had to memorize for something else in the game. And I was like, I'm fucking writing this down because there's no way any of us are going to remember this. And luckily I did.
Yeah, you needed it. It was a good thing. I was really hoping that you all were going to start trying to guess at what the numbers were before you found the actual combination, but no one actually ended up doing that. I think y'all were too afraid.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we're always
we know
scared
better.
we're just going to die or something like that at any moment.
I've been telling Kelly because like her brother does Dungeons and Dragons, and she knows what it is, but she's never done it before, and she's kind of interested in that world. And I was telling her how excited I am that we're doing Dungeons and Dragons because I've for years have been wanting to play, but I've never had a group that would accept me because they're already like midway through a campaign, or like no one would have the patience to help like bring in a first timer. So I was always just like, D&D's dumb. So I'm just glad that I'm with a bunch of other people that are playing it.
It's been fun. It's been really good. I've been having a lot of fun. I think I mentioned this last podcast or the one before, but it's definitely one of my favorite projects to work on right now. Even though it's live, it's one of my favorite things that we're doing.
It's a little
at the
more
moment.
chill though. Like it's telling a story that you have notes for and you have like somewhat of a direction for. Obviously, we throw you off that mark quite a few times, I'm sure, during gameplay.
Yeah.
It's very different.
One of these days, like Ben and Christian have been writing the story, and they've been putting together this really well put together document that I reference all the time. I have it on my screen when we're recording. One of these days, I should show you like that document just so you see what it looks like and like all the different things that are on it. Just so you know, maybe like not anything upcoming, like things that you've done in the past. That way you can see like how it looks like from my perspective when we're playing a game.
That'd be interesting to see. What's your favorite thing to work on, Blubs?
Oh man. It's been really cool like trying out a lot of content. I know I talk about it all the time, but like I've been having a ton of fun getting back into video games. And like getting to try new stuff. Like that Superliminal video we did was great. We actually, Blaine and I brainstormed some ideas with Chris today that we're going to shoot this week that we're super excited about, but really fun ideas. But like some new stuff that has popped up that people really have latched onto. Like I love the Guess Who series we've been doing in hard mode. That was super fun. I obviously like the podcast. It is sometimes challenging to think of things to talk about week after week. But it's like the one time I get to see Gavin, which is nice.
Hey! Although, we did play some board games.
We did. We
Via
played some
the
board games on
internet.
Friday. Yeah.
Via some tabletop sim. That was nice.
I played some Betrayal.
Yeah.
But there was too many of us, so some of us had to share characters. And by that I mean me and Trevor shared a character.
God, what is that? Tabletop sim? That's like
Yeah.
you get your money's worth out of that thing. That's got
Dude.
infinite games.
It's really versatile. You can do so many different things.
Yeah, I just hate it because every time I go in, I immediately test whether or not I can flip the table, and everyone has it disabled. And it pisses me off because I just want to like. No.
Blaine, I'll do a game where it's going to be resulting in how many table flips you could get in a certain amount of time, and it'll be your cup of tea.
Excellent.
Be perfect for
I
you.
like that you can write messages for other players just in front of wherever they're sat.
Yeah,
Well, Barbara and I
so-
have been getting into the habit where we just draw a shit talk to each other on the table and stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah, that happened in our game on Friday with Gavin. Trevor was the one controlling things. Which, by the way, watching Trevor play Tabletop Simulator, I was like blown away because I'm so clunky with the mouse and keyboard still. And he was just like flying around, like setting up camera angles and doing this and switching the things and picking up things. And I was like, I'm horny right now for this. But he was controlling the mouse, so I was like, go over to Gavin's part of the table and just write, what was it, slut bitch? Or something like that. I had him write slut bitch in front of Gavin.
And there's so much going on, like you're moving all over the table, and then you come back, came back to see all my stuff. I was like, huh, all right.
And you could tell who did it because it's in the color of your player.
Yeah, I did one to Alfredo once where I was just like, I think I just wrote, I'm watching you in front of his, and I drew a line, and it went all the way back to where I was sat with an arrow to just 2 eyes. And he was like, what?
I like how you could also draw like across the game board itself,
Yeah.
not just the table. I think, Blaine, was it you? You were filling in something with green because you were like for the editor, you can make this a green screen.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to take advantage of that, but there's just this hole of green, like chroma key green in the middle, and I just want them to put something really stupid there.
And then at one point, I think you did it twice because the first time you did it, I accidentally clicked the erase all, and you had spent like 10 minutes filling that.
It was a long time filling it in.
My footage is probably just me just going click, 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 click.
Yeah. But man, there are a lot of functionalities in that game that I had no idea existed until Friday.
Yeah.
So, a lot to
It's
learn.
a lot. It's almost intimidating.
Yeah.
So
You have to cut to me. That was it.
are you guys where's your mindset at right now towards weather? Are you wanting it to be cold or do you prefer it to stay hot? Like, do you want summer to continue or are you just ready for the fall?
I love summer.
Yeah.
I love it.
So you're
Yeah.
good with what's going on right now.
Yeah, I love it.
I would love it more if I had access to a pool. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah, a pool sounds nice, but I'd like it, I think, to be a little cooler. I'm happy with it now, but a little cooler would be okay. Like, where it's not super oppressive first thing in the morning, you know, where you can actually go out and walk around or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ability for it to be a little nicer to walk around would be nice. Also, I would love to save more money on my electric bill from having to.
Oh, the AC.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because now that Trevor and I are using the rooms here as offices, and he has 2 PCs running. I luckily just have one, but we've had to crank our AC all day, every day, just in order for our rooms not to be steam boxes. So I don't think cooler weather necessarily is going to 100% fix that. It'll help, I think.
I'm full blown ready for winter. Like, Kelly and I invested in probably like $400 worth of camping equipment. And
Jeez.
when we went, I just scheduled it weeks ahead of time because I knew when my vacation was. And when we got there, the heat index was like 109 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh my god, dude.
It was
Well,
so
see-
hot.
The chat
Blaine,
is so.
They're divided.
There's like so many people. Yeah, so divided. People like.
Cold, summer, cold.
Yeah. Well,
I feel
Blaine,
like if you're from
luckily-
a cold country.
I was gonna say, luckily
Segue
for
into
Blaine,
the ad.
winter is coming.
Hey.
Wait,
Remember that?
is there an ad? Is there an ad read? What's going on?
Blaine, do I do ad reads here anymore?
Not for first
You
members.
started the podcast with one.
I don't know. Yeah.
Don't defend him, Gavin. What were you going to say, Gavin? People from colder countries?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think people who live in colder climates miss the summer more. Like as a Brit, I've mentioned this before. If it's sunny outside, I feel like I'm wasting it, which is how I always felt when I lived in England. I would always be like, "Oh, yeah, a bit of sun there, just get out and just sun myself," and that works up until about 42 degrees Celsius. And at that point, which we've experienced here recently, running outside and standing under the sun actually is painful after like 5 minutes.
Right.
It's not the case of like, oh, I got sunburn today. Wow. It's like, I can feel it burning. Like it's like a heat burn instead of like a UV burn. It's like, ow. And I
would
think
love it.
42 for me is the limit where it's like, I shouldn't be outside anymore.
Yeah.
That's a pretty high limit, dude. What is that, 105?
It's probably like 100, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's hot as
I
fuck.
think 38 is 100 or 39.
42 is 107.
Because of
My-
lockdown and all that stuff and the inaccessibility of gyms and stuff, I'd been working outside on top of my parking garage out of my Jeep. And I'd been working out there like some days, like when it was like 105 degrees out. And it fucking wrecked me. Like there'd be times where I'd like lean against my Jeep and then it'd be like 5 minutes later and I was just like napping on the side of my Jeep. I was like, I'm dying.
I'm with you though, Gavin. Like obviously growing up in Canada, I'm used to it being cold 90% of the time, or at least not warm enough to really enjoy like a pool or a nice like outdoor activity.
Yeah.
So I love the summer. That's like one of my favorite things about living in Austin actually is getting so much warmth and so many months of summer. Mainly because like there's so many pools and outdoor like water areas in Austin, which sucks now because you can't really take advantage of that during quarantine and trying to be safe. But I love summer and I love the heat. I haven't been outside nearly enough. You can't really tell on this camera. I'm the palest I've ever been, I think, in my life.
That's saying a
I
lot.
bet that's like really good for you though, because the sun isn't. I mean, you need like a little bit of vitamin D or whatever, but we're all like killing ourselves tanning, aren't we? So it's like,
Oh,
if
yeah,
you're
no,
pale, your skin's in good condition.
It's absolutely better for my skin and my health. Trevor and I actually have been taking vitamin D supplements just because we know we haven't been getting enough sun. But the other day, actually, I was shooting some merch with Wes. It was outside. He was wearing a mask. We were distanced. We were being very safe about it. But at one point, I was lying down on the ground, and I was wearing a skirt and white Converse shoes. And I looked down, and I go, my legs are they blend into my white Converse. Like I can't see where I'm so pale, dude. It's bad.
I had been working out enough that like you can't really tell. The lighting's not doing me any favors, but like I've been getting a ton of sun because I've been working out outside. And like when we got to the camping site, like I was like, I'm gonna be shirt off for 48 hours. I didn't wear a shirt. Like as soon as we got to the campground, I took my shirt off, and it was so nice. It was
took
the
it off.
perfect
You
vacation.
started the fire with it.
It was rad.
That's
Yeah,
something I'm
yeah.
gonna try to do during my vacation time is spend some more time outside.
Oh, you gotta, because like the only thing is like we had Dutch and Kelly's dog Charlie, who's the cutest dog in the world, and they were like hot dogs. It was like really warm, so like every 15 minutes I would take them over to the water hose and I'd like pour just like water, and just like they were constantly
Aww.
soaked the entire trip because I was trying to make sure that they were okay and like filled up on water. Other than that, it was a great time.
That sounds like so much fun. I'm so
Went to the
jealous of
lake.
you guys.
Oh yeah.
I found out during my my last doctor visit that I'm vitamin D deficient, which seems pretty on brand for me.
You know, I think it's something like 80 or 90% of Canadians are vitamin D deficient.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I feel like Gus
it's quite common.
Gus could be the one person who builds up immunity against vitamin D deficiency.
Against
Like you just
the
naturally you just had so little time in the sunlight.
Yeah, it's like I like when I got that result back, I was like, really? Now? Okay. I mean, I would have guessed this would have been at some point over the last 25 years, but okay, we've reached that point finally.
I feel like it's hard. Like, how do you know how much you need? How do you even quantify? Do you need like 10 minutes a day outside to
I
not be?
They
think
were
it's-
an hour
I
a
think
day.
No,
An hour
I
a
don't
day
think
is
it's that
quite a
much.
lot.
I think it's 15 minutes a day in order to get the amount of vitamin, like to properly absorb the vitamin D that you need in order not to be deficient.
Why
My-
don't
I
you
think-
stick your face in your
Let's see.
phone cleaning vase? Would that have the same
Oh.
effect?
She just
I
has a circle on her
somehow-
face.
Don't think it would.
I also
But
think
I-
I
but
think
your face would
UVC
be
is
clean.
really. I think that's really bad for you as well. If you,
I think it is.
I wouldn't do it. I don't. Oh, there's
Just
something
stick
about
my eyeballs in there.
if it's just UV. I think some of those lights are fine, but there's like a specific kind that is, I think, damaging to the eyes. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think
Chat
I
shit.
think it's C. I think you're right. But
Yeah.
I just looked it up online. To maintain healthy blood levels, aim to get 10 to 30 minutes of midday sunlight several times per week.
Imagine if all humans did that at noon. They would just be like,
Just a bunch of fucking plants hanging out outside.
yeah.
My Echo had like health tips. Ask Alex A for health tips. I don't want to activate her. And it was like, for better health, get 60 minutes of sunlight a day. And I was like, I don't think that was written for Texas. Like, it was
Yeah.
like some person way north.
Could I split that into 10 6-minute sessions?
Yeah, you hop out, you run back in.
Yeah.
I saw someone, you talked about activating your voice assistant. I saw a company started selling a little jammer that you can put on top of some of those voice activated assistants so that they can't hear you anymore.
What?
But it seems like, why wouldn't you just unplug or not use the assistant if you're that worried about it? Like, I don't understand.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't understand what the point of the device is. It's like this little puck you put on top of it that I guess like jams its microphone so that it can't hear you anymore.
So you have to activate it by taking the thing off.
It's basically just like another little puck you put on top of your smart device, and it emits some kind of
Yeah, but then how
sound
do you use
frequency.
it yourself when you want
right.
to?
Then
Yeah.
I guess you clap to activate it or deactivate the jammer.
How are you going to say, Alexa, turn couch blue?
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Damn,
then, if you were
that's
using this
fancy.
device, you'd have to clap and then talk and then clap again.
Okay, got it. Sorry for everybody that has one activate like right now. It's like, sorry, I can't
Everyone's
do that.
just sat
do
on
not
their
have
blue
a blue
couch.
What color should I make my room? I don't have an Echo in here, but I
Make-
could use
make-
my phone.
Make it as wide as your legs.
Whoa. So you won't be able to see it. I'll use the shade translucent. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
that sucks. I'm catching up with chat. They were like, hey, thanks for not saying the name of the device, Blaine. and
Uh-oh.
now
And
it's
then
like,
you did.
yeah. sorry.
Red. I'm gonna do blue too. I'm gonna match you, Blaine. Mine is not as obvious though.
We were in a meeting. It was like you, me, John, and Chris, and I noticed that our color scheme in each window was the exact same. We all had like pinkish, salmonish, bluish.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks like you're in like
This is
the jungle.
green. Mine is very subtle. I want to get some more because I love the way it looks when people have their room like super pigmented in a certain color. It looks so cool to me. But mine is more of a subtle hue. I usually keep it on like purple or pink.
Everyone's getting.
Go, I'm a
upset in
girl.
chat. Sorry.
I was texting Gavin this weekend because I had the
We
dumbest.
text so much now.
Yeah, we text all the time, but I had the dumbest fucking problem. I had to share it with Gavin. I was trying to move my desk to a different location, but the network port at that location wasn't working. So I thought, oh, well, let me just pop off the network port. Let me just pop off that little plate and look inside because I used to work in IT. Maybe I could take a look at it and fix it. And behind that plate was like a spaghetti. It looked like a plate of spaghetti of tiny little cables. Like whoever had lived in the house before me spliced to the cable and added like a shit ton of phone lines or something to it. And it was just like all these wires running off everywhere. And I just looked at it. I was like, yeah, there's no fixing that. I got so fucking mad. I had to make a video and I sent it to Adam Baird and I sent it to Gavin.
Yeah, and you're not exaggerating. It looked like someone had like done a bunch of shit, shoved the cables in, and then used like a broom handle to like jab it all in, and then put more on and closed it. It was crazy.
Do you think it's because they just didn't want to have to cut it and then like splice and like new connections and stuff like that? So they just like fuck it, or do you think that they're actually bringing it out as an extension?
I have no idea. I've never seen anything like that, and honestly, I don't know how they fit all of those wires back into the box. It was like watching like that circus bit where a bunch of clowns come out of a car. It was like watching that with wires. It was just like pulling them out nonstop, never ending.
And the wiring was also super weird. Have you talked about like why your port wasn't working?
They had cut 4 of the wires. So they tried to make 4 of the when you're using Ethernet, really only 4 wires are necessary, and there's 8 wires in a cable. So they had tried to cut the 4 wires that weren't in use and use those to send other signals through, and then all of those were like tied off with all these other wires that had all these runs going everywhere that were then for no reason because it was all just jammed back into the box.
This
Dude,
sounds
hell.
like stupid and like existential and stuff, but I love that because there's a story behind everything. And at one point in time, a person was doing that and they thought in their brain that was the logical thing to do. Like there was a story behind. For example, when I moved into this apartment, I was taking a shower one time. I was just like a couple of months into living here. And I was taking like a steamy shower and I looked on my mirror and I got freaked out because there was writing on the mirror. And I didn't know exactly what it said. It was kind of hard to see, but it said like something along the lines of like someone's name and like love and something like that. And I just like stood there fucking naked, staring at the mirror, wondering if I was either being haunted or like what it was. And what I ultimately came up with was that some girl took lipstick, signed that, and then had taken a picture with it, like a selfie or something like that. Just like based off of the handwriting and all the stuff. That's the story that I assembled.
What did it say?
What's up?
What did it say?
It was I don't know. It was like someone's name,
Oh.
love, and then like some like dude like hearts and shit.
Dude,
So I don't
lipstick is so fucking hard to get out of anything. I dropped a lipstick on my carpet
What's
in
it
this
made from?
office. I don't know, but it's got some type of grease or oil or something in there. That
Is it animal based?
I don't think so.
I bet you that makeup or lipstick is not vegan.
I think
Sorry,
depending on
Gus.
the brand.
Speaking of the bathroom thing, there was a video I watched about a lot of old American homes where apparently there was just a slot in the wall in the bathroom where you would just stick old razors.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
You would just like be done because they'd be like single use razors or like a couple of uses, and then you just stick them through the slot. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, so there's like some sort of catchment bin, and you open a door and pull them out. Nope, they just fall into the wall.
What?
And people just assume it's like, well, they'll never fill up the wall with razors. So a lot of people have had like new bathrooms done, and they just like tile over those holes and they're just, modern bathroom. But there's still a ton of razor blades in their bathroom wall.
Gavin,
That's so gross.
Do you remember
love
that
that.
house I bought that I renovated that you walked in the window of one time?
Yeah.
That had a wall full of razors.
Did it? Did you
Yeah.
find the razors?
We found the razors. We had to rip open that wall because we were redoing the bathroom. And that's how I learned about this. And it was just like hundreds of razors fell out of the wall into like a pile in the bathroom. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's like,
It's like gross and dangerous, but it's like so ill thought out for anyone. Do they just think like,
but I mean,
people know about the razors?
how,
It's
I mean, I feel like
fascinating.
there's no better metaphor for humans alive in like the 40s and 50s or in the second, like it to be like, yeah, who cares? We're just gonna put it in the wall, out of sight, out of mind. Not a problem we're ever gonna have to deal with. And then of
I'll
course,
be
Their level
dead.
of
you're like,
foresight.
fuck.
When I was a kid, or I guess I was in my teens, I might have told this story already, but my dad and I were building a new drywall between their bathroom and their closet. And so we were like building up. It wasn't a lot of drywall, but like we had all the studs and all that stuff. And for whatever reason, I wanted to put an action figure in there. So like there's just a G.I. Joe action figure in the wall of my parents' bathroom. And whoever like destroys that house, they're probably going to find just an old G.I. Joe.
It's like a little Easter egg. I always thought that was cool. If like you're moving out of a house and could leave something there for the other owner to find at some point. That's obviously not creepy.
Chances are they don't want it. Like nobody's gonna be like, ooh, that's so
Yeah.
What
cool.
if I leave them $1 bill?
No, I
pretty
love
cool.
seeing those ones where it's like people find like a safe or some shit, you
Oh
know?
God, yeah.
Also, fucking unsolved mysteries. That shit's crazy. I know I'm so late to the game. That show's crazy. They've
Unsolved
solved like
mysteries.
so many mysteries that were unsolved because of that show. That show's crazy.
Wait, so they actually solved it? I thought it was like super frustrating because you never know what happened.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
covering.
think there was like 1,300 cases in the history of the show, and they've solved somewhere between 200 to 300 cases because of tips or whatever.
Damn.
Because they
whoa.
purposely sometimes will pick cases that they know there's missing elements that they could just push the evidence over a little bit more. They could probably solve the case. Like it's a public service and it's entertainment. That show's crazy.
A public service.
I would be
fucking cool.
I would be remiss if we didn't give a huge shout out to Red Web, Trevor and Alfredo's new podcast that premiered last week. I think the second episode came out today. I am so proud to see how well it's been doing and the response to it. But man, I listened to the first episode twice. It is so good. It is so damn good. And if you like unsolved mysteries and stuff like that, then definitely go check it out.
I'll admit I'm very jealous, and I kind of hate Trevor and Alfredo right now because Red Web is on track to surpass Black Box Down in number of downloads, and I don't like that. I'm a very competitive person, so I'm trying to figure out ways to start promoting Black Box Down more to try to pump up the numbers.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
Here I am in
it's
fucking
interesting.
third place, if that, with Good Morning from Hell. And I hate Gus for Black Box Down. Gus and Chris for Black Box Down. I'm so jealous of that fucking.
The
show.
enemy of your enemy is your friend.
I don't even know where
Yeah.
face comes into it. I assume that's dead bottom.
It's,
No, you guys are. I think all the podcasts that you guys have been putting out and doing have been stellar and kicking ass. So
Yeah, I would say that face is probably one of my favorite things to work on at the moment.
oh yeah, I never asked you. You asked me what my favorite thing to work on. We never got back to you, Gavin. Now I feel bad. You were probably
I had my
posing that
finger-
question so you could talk about that.
I had my finger on the button for 5 minutes, and then I was just like, "It didn't happen. I'm gonna let go." But you
She's
can probably
never gonna
see
ask
me.
me.
I was like this while I was asking.
Yeah. So you're doing really well with the downloads, with the numbers. Good job.
Yeah,
with,
I think
with Bleak
hit-
Face.
I think Red Web hit number 4 on trending on Spotify or something.
It was pretty
this
high,
past
yeah.
weekend, which is incredible. But obviously, as someone very close to Trevor and who loves him very much, I really appreciate everyone's support of the things that he works on. So thank you guys.
It's interesting.
really means
to
a lot.
Get recommendations by the community for the stuff that we make. Like I know whether to watch stuff we make based on the community's reaction to it. Like I'm gonna watch Red Web because everyone's going apeshit for it. I probably wouldn't have listened to it because you can only listen to so much stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah.
dude, it is.
Thank
It'll blow
you,
your mind.
community.
Yeah. Normally I'd listen to it during a commute, but no more commuting. I just lay in bed in the morning before I get up, and that's my commute now. Getting up and going to brush my
I
teeth.
like it for housework and stuff. Like if you're doing laundry or cleaning or anything like that, or even going for a walk outside to get your 10 to 30 minutes of vitamin D. I know Good Morning from Hell is usually under 30 minutes, so it's the perfect show for your walk.
Yeah.
Right, Blaine?
That's right. No, it is one of those things where like even though I think across the board podcast numbers are down because people aren't commuting as much, I have been listening to podcasts non-fucking stop. And I think Gus can attest to this because I text him whenever I'm listening to Black Box.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that I have a direct connection to somebody that makes it. I don't even bother with Chris because he doesn't know anything about airplanes, but Gus is the guy. But
Yeah,
it's great too because like whenever I take Dutch out for a walk, he takes forever to shit. And I used to get so impatient. So sometimes I'd like get in his face and like bend down and be like, Dutch, can you take a fucking shit, dude? I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, dude. And now I'm just like listening to Black Box or whatever, and he can take as long as he wants. I don't really care.
That would make a pretty funny video of just everyone taking a camera and putting it super low down as if it's the POV of a dog and just having a montage of all the stuff people say to their pets.
You're
Like
I would
take a shit, Dutch.
Take a fucking shit, Dutch.
He's like, what?
Oh, I love that dog.
This morning I took Benjamin out, and I was like, we were walking around. I was like, I know you need to take a shit, dude. I know you need to take a shit. And he just peed, and he like starts running back for the door, like he wants to go back in. I was like, are you sure? You don't need to take a shit? And he's like all excited at the door. He's like, I don't want to take you back out in 3 hours. You want to go back in? I was like, all right. So we went back in, and then fucking 3 hours later, he's like at the door looking at me. He's like got a guilty look on his face, like, I fucking knew it, you fucking asshole. You're making me go back out. It's way hotter now. I get so fucking annoyed when I have to go. I was like, you should have just done it in the first place earlier.
He heard about your deficiency.
Yeah, I guess so. But at least he asked to go out. I've always been very grateful about that. I don't have to deal with accidents.
Do animals not need vitamin D?
I don't know. He doesn't want it. Like that dog is what he's doing now. He's fine with that because he's a black dog, so he just soaks in sunlight. I mean, like I'll touch Dutch when we've been out for a while, and he's so
radiating
warm.
with heat.
Yeah, he's just absorbing all heat.
It was my favorite part of the camping trip was we had cots set up, which by the way, if you're not camping with a cot, you're doing it wrong. Cots are the fucking best. Fuck the ground. Anyways, I set up a cot and I had Dutch laid out on it, and I got a beach towel and I just drenched it in water and I fanned it off to get it nice and cool. And I laid it over him, and he was just snug as a bug. His little head was poking out of the beach towel. It is so fucking cute. Yeah.
There is a great video I saw on the internet of this girl replicating what it's like to be a dog when your owner comes home. And I want to do it, but I'm wearing AirPods, and I'm worried they're going to fling out of my head when I do it. But it was essentially her going, "Is that my friend? Is that my friend? Is that my friend? I think that's my friend. I think that's my friend." And then it's like she was like, doing like a cat, and she was just on her phone like, I think I know her.
That's
she has
accurate.
food? All right, I guess I'll go say hi.
Very accurate.
So, Gavin, I got an answer for you here. Unlike humans, dogs get almost no vitamin D from the effect of sunlight on their skin, so nearly all of their vitamin D must come from their diet.
Oh.
Interesting.
So wait, so how did they get it before we were engineering food? Is it just in animals? Like, if an animal is tanned, do you get their vitamin D if you eat them?
I don't think that works. I'm trying to see.
Because surely, wolves, they're not getting fed vitamin D supplemented dog food.
I mean, I think it's like you get it in meat, right?
The usable form of vitamin D, called calcitriol, is actually a hormone and is stored mostly in fat tissue.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. We all learned a little bit about vitamin D today.
I have to give Dutch these like fish oil pills because his like ass juices will spray out if I don't. It's really weird and they smell awful, but it's better than the smell of his ass juices shooting onto my couch. It's the worst.
Have you ever had to
juices?
milk his gland?
I refuse. Like, I had to like basically like grab his dick and inject a syringe filled with medicine into it.
I forgot.
I draw the line at fingering my dog's asshole, bro. I can't do it.
He might be. He might be into it though.
You what?
He might really. He might be into it. He might really like it. He might appreciate it if you do it.
I don't want that. I don't want that. He just now trusts me with clipping his nails because the first time, first nail, boom, immediately cut the wig. I like hit his little, and he started bleeding. And like, it was like I fucking punched him in the face. He was so distrusting towards me for like a few days.
It's because you betrayed him.
Yeah, I did. And then we've only just now eased back into me being able to do it. And I know how to like where to look for it and stuff. Because he's got black talons or whatever. So it's hard to see where the wick is. Yeah, whatever. Talons, because he's a wolf.
I thought it was a quick. Is it a wick?
Talons for birds?
Quick. That's quick.
Yeah, birds have talons. You are correct,
If I finger his
Barbara.
ass, then it's over, dude.
Well, Gus,
Today I learned Dutch is a bird because Barbara's right.
Oh. Talons are for birds, and hawks, and shit.
I don't know.
Not for dogs.
Or claws.
Are you trying to think of like the what's it called? Velociraptors with their big long nail? What would that be called?
It's a talon, I think,
Talon?
right?
Yeah, but they're
What do you
descendants of, or birds are descendants of those, though.
Yeah,
so.
talon.
True. Evolution.
Hey, if you're listening to this now, as much as I'm talking about Dutch, get a fucking dog or a cat. I know, Gavin, you're into cats, but
I do like dogs. Like, I've lived with a dog. I like dogs. I love the love that a dog can give that a cat will never truly give you, and I'm okay with that. But dogs smell bad.
not all dogs.
Barbara,
Yeah,
Get a dog.
I mean, you can kind of keep them clean.
I think
My
also
dog doesn't.
depends
My dogs
on-
don't smell that bad.
I'm sure some dogs smell worse than others, like depending on what breed they are, how active they are, where they go, and stuff like that. Like, I imagine Charlie, Kelly's dog, is not smelly at all, right, Blaine? It doesn't seem like Charlie would be a smelly dog.
That dog smells like shit.
Oh, really?
I love that dog though, and she she legitimately eats her own shit.
Oh,
Yeah, that's like the one downside to Charlie is I saw her eat a turd one time, and I was like, dude,
Ruined for
you
life.
have irreparably damaged our relationship because she's so sweet. But I saw that and I was just like,
I don't know
dogs
why.
just they
They do stink.
Go ahead, Gav.
well they take like a 5-minute run outside. And it's like that smells. I know there's a dog in this room. I can smell it. And they also having dogs with cats. Like the dog would always just go and eat the cat shit. And it's like, come on, we feed you good shit, expensive shit.
Food.
You don't need to go and eat real shit.
Why not just save a lot of money and just only feed shit?
honestly,
dog-
like Dutch, like his
Recycle.
dog smell, like when it rains or whatever, and he gets like a little wet. Like anytime it rains, I immediately take Dutch out for a walk because like I like being in the rain, and I think he likes being in the rain. And I don't mind his smell. I think he smells good. Like I just like it's like puppy smell.
Blaine's not Blaine. Dutch has always smelled really like fine. Like anytime you would bring him to the office and people would play with him, I never noticed him smelling bad. He's a good dog.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
I was also going to say when you were talking about weather earlier in the podcast, I think my favorite thing is being at home and having it be like really dark and stormy out, like during the day when it gets that like really dark storm cloud kind of look and is like windy and stormy, but still warm outside. That's like my favorite weather to be inside with.
So
That's
you just
so relaxing.
you just had some of that the other day, then, right? Or like yesterday,
We
or the day
did,
before
yeah.
we had it like that. Yeah.
Anytime it would start sprinkling, Trevor and I would be like, come on.
That's something weird, like unique to. I've never experienced that in England, but yeah, there's like this weird pre-storm weather in Texas where someone just like messes with the white balance of outside.
Yeah,
And
it's like sepia tone.
Yeah, so everything's yellow or everything's like green. It's like, and you look out the window, it's like, what's going on? And what causes that? Is it like the
sun.
clouds doing that?
I don't know, but it's also like that. There's this weird like air circulation going on too at the same time, where it's like gusts and then nothing and then gusts again. I don't know what type of storm thing.
I always
that
try
is.
and take pictures of the strange color, but I feel like my iPhone just tries to correct the white balance, so it just looks like a normal picture. So
It never
Yeah.
does it justice.
Yeah.
It's weird
But
because I remember at the beginning of quarantine, it just wouldn't stop raining, and people are like, I want it to stop raining. I'm so depressed. I want nothing more than rain right now. Like, I
Yeah.
fucking love the rain.
Yeah, we
Why?
were supposed to get really bad rain this weekend because of that hurricane, but then the hurricane ended up going west instead, so we barely got any as a result of
Didn't it blow some of the wall down?
I think it did, yeah.
The very strong, mighty wall.
I was really concerned about that because like the last time Houston got hit by a hurricane was like that big one, and that combined with COVID, it's just like those guys can't take it.
Back in April, Bernie and I were texting about like disaster scenarios for COVID, like how bad could it be? And I was speculating about like how bad it would be if it was still going on during hurricane season, which obviously it is, and then a hurricane hit an impacted area. Because at that point, once you have evacuations and like people in shelters, then it's really much more difficult to enforce social distancing and masks. Like that could be really, really bad.
Well, I mean, is Hannah done? That's the one. There's a Hurricane Hannah in 20.
Yeah, it was supposed to be South Texas that it was hitting.
Is it done though?
Pretty much. It's just thunderstorms over Mexico at this point.
I'm hoping it passes uneventfully. Even if we don't get any rain, as much as I want rain, I don't want I don't want it to fuck up another thing. It's just God, this year.
But just a nice weekend thunderstorm would be so lovely. That's like, love it. I've also been puzzling too. I'm an old lady now, by the way. I think quarantine has turned me into an old lady. I'm wearing slippers. I fucking walked into a table and broke my toe this weekend because I'm fragile as fuck now. And then I'm also doing puzzles. So
I don't think it's a quarantine that did it. I think it's the years that did it to you, Barbara.
It might be. But yeah, I was leaning down to pick something up and like walking away, and my toe hooked onto the dining room table leg, and just my body kept moving forward and my toe did not. And I was just really mad at myself, because if there's one thing you don't want during having to stay home is not being able to even move around your own home, which sucks. I'm just rolling my chair everywhere I go.
God, I'm still so jealous that you have a weight room. I think about that. I wake up in the morning and I think about how jealous I am of you and Trevor for having a weight room.
Have you thought about just ruining some of your place and like replacing the kitchen with just a load of weights?
Yeah, you could just not have a living room, Blaine.
There's really no space in my place. Like with Dutch moving in, I didn't even have enough space to put in a Christmas tree this year. B, there's zero inventory. Like there was like it was like plates became gold and there was a gold rush. Like there's no weight equipment anymore. You like have to get your hands on it immediately, or else it's out of stock for like weeks.
You could just buy a boulder.
You're right.
How much are gym memberships usually? Because if you want to spot me some cash, Trevor and I could leave for a couple hours and we'll wipe everything down for you.
I'll work out in a fucking hazmat suit. I'll do whatever it takes. You guys got a nice setup.
That would all start steaming up. It'd be so gross. In there.
Dude, I mean, I've already done that because like they opened up our apartment gym, and God, the rules are so fucking stupid. They are basically like, it's only open from 10 to 4 or like 12 to 4 on these days. So then you have like a group of people that would be going in across the span of 24 hours are all coming in for a 4-hour concentrated block in the middle of the pandemic. And most of them aren't wearing masks. And if they are, then they get winded and they pull the masks down. So it's fucking useless. And the limit is not low enough. It's only like, I think there's 10 people allowed, but it's like, it's not a big weight room. So I basically don't even work out in my own weight room, even though it's open now, because I don't feel good. But fuck. I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm so fucking frustrated. I want to lift weights so bad.
Dude, you must be just dying not being able to be in an actual gym.
I mean, fortunately, I date a personal trainer, so if anything, my legs have gotten bigger. My ass is popping.
You can come lift a boulder in front of my house if you want for a bit.
I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, I was noticing the other day because for people who don't know, Kelly is my trainer. Obviously not been going to the gym in the last few months, so I haven't gotten physically trained by her, but we have done stuff like over Zoom and stuff. But something I've noticed is she's so good at what she does, but especially paying attention to the booty, which is, as a white woman, I'm not predisposed to having a big butt or a good butt. and she has helped me with that. I've noticed since quarantine has started, my butt is progressively getting flatter and flatter. And maybe that's because I'm literally sitting in this chair all day, but also not working out as much.
It's like deflating. You're getting shorter in the frame every day.
You're squashing your butt for a living.
Yeah. So I might have to get her help to plump it back up.
How do you make a bigger butt?
Oh God.
So, like squats and that?
Well,
There's
so
a
like,
lot of- yeah.
well, she'd been making me do a bunch of activation stuff, and just really because I don't have weights, it's just all like reps at this point. But I mean, oh God, it's been fucking intense. Like she'll make me hit a lift and then like 0 rest, immediately go into something else, and it's lifts that I hadn't been doing before because I kind of got into a routine. But it's like my ass is on fire by the time she's done with it. That's
something also too that she taught me in training is that any exercise could be a butt exercise if you're doing it the right way. Like
a push-up?
Even a push-up. Yeah, it's just there's tensing certain places and using like essentially activating your glutes while doing certain lifts or certain exercises. You will feel it and it'll help you with that lift. So even if like an overhead press, if you clench your butt, you could really get a more powerful lift. I'm not going all the way up because my arms would go out of frame, whatever. But a lot of it could be butt exercises and glute activation.
I want to work on my gooch. I want a really like powerful gooch.
That's just like a fucked up Kegel, right?
Is that a muscle that you can?
What if you had a bulge right there? Like, what if you got it so muscular that it bulged out?
It'd be like sitting on a wallet in your back pocket. Like you sit down and you're just like.
So like Kelly does this thing when she wants me to activate a muscle, she'll tap on it. So if I'm working triceps, then she'll start tapping on it, and I'll feel it, and I'll know how to activate it. You know. So when you said that, I started tapping my gooch to see how I get. Ah!
She walks in, she's like, Blaine, why are you fingering yourself again? You're on camera, for Christ's sake.
If you're going to do that to yourself, you may as well do it to Dutch as well.
No.
God damn it.
God, I'm not sure even if I tapped on some of my muscles that I'd even be able to move them.
You'd be surprised. With proper form and stuff like that, how much you feel certain things differently. Oh, did you feel it?
It's all off camera.
I should just like be clenching my butt while I do the podcast, so I could be exercising my butt while.
Might as well, right? It's a waste otherwise.
You'll be pretty tired when it's all said and done. It's a long workout.
Dude, I'm gonna have the best ass ever. After a couple more weeks of the podcast, bring it at me.
Here we go.
You'll get taller and taller again. It's like you're reinflating on the frame.
Yeah, Blaine, work it.
Yeah.
Gavin, have we talked about the Halo Infinite gameplay?
No.
Oh, can we?
What did you think about it?
I think I'm broken. Because I feel like I'm so biased. I'm so excited for anything Halo. And I say that, not anything Halo. I didn't really care for Halo Wars. Or any of that.
Yeah.
But like a main, numbered / named Halo game, I just can't wait. Yes, I wasn't blown away by the graphics in the video, but I'm just so excited to play new Halo. I feel like I've replayed every campaign so many times that it's just like to be like age 32 and they're still making Halo for me. I'm so excited by that.
It just reminded me so much, in a good way, of the original Halo game of Combat Evolved. The way that the action flowed, even the setting, the way there was something about the aesthetic that made me really think about it.
Nice and bright.
Plus, they added a grappling hook. Like that obviously wasn't in the first Halo game, but I was really impressed. I'm curious to see how it plays out.
A lot of people were asking me their thoughts on the game, and they were like, yeah, and I could have. People were saying like they could have done without the grappling hook, and I was like, why do you haven't used it yet? You don't know how it feels. And also, in Halo 5, there was that like Spartan ground pound.
Yeah.
To me, a grappling hook is just like one of those that can also go upwards. It's like you're just adding on to that. It's not going to be like revolutionary different. I feel like it's nice to get around fast in Halo games, to feel fluid and to like use other methods for like punching shit in the face. I'm pretty excited, to be honest.
I think maybe I'm with you. I agree with you. I'm just going to play devil's advocate for a second. I think maybe the concern, maybe they don't even realize it when they're verbalizing it, but it's like traditionally Halo is a very slow moving game. The single player campaign, like Master Chief, isn't a very fast character. So maybe with the advent of the grappling hook, like it's going to change the speed of the game. Like it's going to speed it up a little bit, which is not something that they're maybe used to.
I mean,
Maybe that's it.
Coming off of Doom Eternal, and that had a grappling hook in it, and that made things so much more fun, like fast traveling, and just like this even has more stuff to do with it. Like you can pull things towards you, or you could use it to maneuver around like the environment. So I was pretty stoked about that. I still think Doomguy would kick Master Chief's ass, though.
We should.
Yeah.
Is there a death battle about that? Can we request that?
They made it in Master
You
Chief
should.
1. It was such bullshit.
Oh, okay. So
I
then
feel
so
like-
it's settled already then.
No, it's not.
No, it's totally settled.
No, they are not the final word. I represent Doomguy, and I am here to say that my client will not stand for this injustice.
When I think about the stuff that I don't like about where they took Halo, it's all like the feel related. Like, to be honest, when I first picked up Halo 4, the way everything felt and sounded and looked slightly different, it took me out of it way more than I thought it would. Like, the fact that Master Chief looks a little bit different, and all the sounds of the guns weren't familiar, the outlines of the enemies weren't familiar. That, to me, was like the reason it felt so different between Bungie and 343. And I feel like they're making good effort to make shit look and feel more like the old games. Even though the sounds, to me, a sound is like a big part of it. Like the assault rifle still sounds very Halo 4 and 5 to me, and it just doesn't feel as home as it used to. But it's got to feel right.
I think
we'll find out soon enough.
with the look of Halo 4 and 5, it was like they were trying too hard to be tactical with a hint of sci-fi. But like in my mind, like Aliens is like the aesthetic that they were copying for like the original Halo, and like that, like it's just like cool fucking armor. It's totally sci-fi with like a little bit of tactical, and I think that's like that return to that look is like that's the way to go. I'm so happy with how he looks now. He's so cool looking, and I love the big 117. That's fucking rad. Reminds me of all those cartoons that they're releasing, like Halo Legends, I think. Did you ever watch those?
Yeah, they had all the different animation styles.
Yeah,
Is that what
I
we're
like
talking
how
about?
he
Yeah.
bothered answering
they
your
were cool.
question as if it was going to be anything but no. I'm like, no, I haven't seen it.
It seems like
Well,
Chad
what's
agrees
your-
with me that Master Chief would get his ass kicked by Doomguy, though, so that's cool.
I don't
Thanks,
think
Chad.
they agree with you.
Tons of chat is not on your side. I want to point that out.
Caden's in chat. She does not agree with you.
I saw
So-
a nah fam from Caden.
Yeah.
What's the
I
best
see
Halo
Blaine
game?
is very wrong.
Nah.
Best Halo game.
You guys fight. Go ahead.
In my opinion,
Head-to-head.
Halo
Are we talking just single player, not multiplayer?
ODST.
I would say let's take multiplayer out.
Halo ODST.
Single player. Reach. I think Reach.
Yeah, I would put 3 in Reach and ODST. They're up there.
ODST for me because Reach was so depressing, although I love the gameplay. Reach was beautiful and awesome and
Personally-
amazing. It was so sad.
5 was my
Personally-
least favorite. Sorry, Barbara.
I was gonna say personally, fuck it. I don't want to do it now. I was gonna make a stupid joke and I just interrupted you instead. I was gonna say personally, I love Beyonce's rendition of it, but if you,
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna turn this way now.
I feel like with Halo 5, I like it the least because I'm the least familiar with it. Like I remember not being super pleased with Halo 4. But having gone back and played Halo 4 a bunch of times, since Halo 5 has come out, I like it a lot more now than when I first played it. And I'm not sure why that is. And I maybe like Halo 5 would grow on me over time as well. It's a weird one.
But we'll see here soon. They haven't even announced a Series X release date or anything. They just say it's going to be later this year, right? Holiday 2020. So we don't even know. We'll find out probably in November, if I had to guess.
Have they said that these new consoles are going to have... Didn't they say the PS5 was going to have 8K?
Did they?
What?
Did I read that somewhere? Or am I chatting shite?
November 7th this year is a Saturday. You think they'll release it then? 117?
Also, Saint453 makes a great point. Remember, Master Chief's nickname was the Demon, and what does the Doomguy do? He kills demons. Thank you for
That's a
coming to
good
my
point.
TED Talk. Master Chief would absolutely get blasted by Doomguy. It's no competition. None.
You're very firm on your point.
I will die on this hill.
Do you feel like Halo is probably the single most influential?
Yes.
Because I was gonna say, like, obviously with Red versus Blue and Rooster Teeth in general, Halo has had a huge impact, but also with you, Gavin, and your whole entire life story.
I also feel like any franchise you play all the way from the beginning, you're excited by. Like, I would say there are 3 still going franchises that I've played since the very first iteration. Halo's one of them. I played all the Hitmans. You know, I played Hitman Codename 47 when it came out, and all of GTA. Like, I played GTA 1 when that was the newest GTA all the way up to now. And I feel like all 3 of those franchises, I'm always just so excited to get a new one of, because I'm honestly blown away they're still making them because it's been so long. That's like 90s.
Damn.
It's a good franchise.
It's going on for a long
You
time.
you have good taste in video games, Gavin. You picked some good ones. I mean, imagine all the shitty franchises you started, and then you're like,
Yeah.
no, that's okay. I'm not gonna keep playing this one. I'll just put it down.
But there are some where I only picked them up like midway through the franchise. Like, I really like Mass Effect 2, but I never played Mass Effect 1. I never played Elder Scrolls 1 through 3. I don't even know the name of the first Elder Scrolls game. Was it just Elder Scrolls? What was it called? I know there was like Morrowind, and
Is it just called Elder Scrolls? It might just be called
Maybe.
Elder Scrolls.
one of them was Daggerfall, wasn't it?
Someone asked if Doomguy could survive a fall from space. He was shot from a cannon into Mars. He would win against Master
So
Chief.
no.
The conversation is done. He would absolutely win over Master Chief. Thank you.
The Elder Scrolls Arena.
That was it. Yeah, same with Fallout. Never played 1 or 2. Started at 3.
Oh, those are great games. Fallout 1 and 2 are
Yeah.
so good, dude.
Man, Fallout, I just slept on it and will continue to be a coma on Fallout. I don't care. It's crazy.
Oh my god, you're so lucky. You're so lucky.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can play like Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition for the first time. You can do that.
Is it that good?
Ah.
You should.
Yeah.
You should absolutely do that. It's a great game.
Yeah.
I'm such a
Fallout 4 is not as
completionist, though. I gotta play everything.
My first playthrough of that game, I fucked up and I broke it in a stupid way. I was so in love with the game. I didn't want to progress the story. I wanted to do like all the side missions and explore the world before I got to the main story. So like I left the vault and I started exploring. And then as part of my exploration, I ended up at Rivet City, which invalidated, like it advanced the story, and I missed a bunch of stuff. Like I never met Three Dog at the radio station. And like all of that stuff was then locked off because I had jumped ahead in time and gone over there. I was like, fuck. So I had to do, on my second playthrough, I had to go through and experience that. So it was weird finishing the game, but not having experienced all of the story missions because I had messed up.
Yeah, interesting.
You should absolutely play that game, Blaine. You should absolutely play that game.
I'll just
Quit
play
trying to reach chat to
Doom.
find more justifications for your bad takes on Doomguy versus Master Chief. I see you just glued to it, looking for anybody to try to back you up.
I just want to tear them up at how good Doomguy is compared to Master Chief. I do love Master Chief. I'm not saying that, I hate him. I'm just saying he just get his ass beat by Doomguy. It's something to do.
That's the weird thing. I don't really have any strong connection to Master Chief.
Well-
He's not really much of a character, and I think that's the point, right? They want you to like be him. Like in Halo 1, he doesn't say a ton. He's just, most of Halo 1, he's very confused and he doesn't really know what he's doing.
No, Master Chief and Doomguy were made to be empty shells that the character fit into.
Yeah,
and then
like husks.
they went into different directions. So Halo 4 and 5, they're like, this is Master Chief's origin. We want to hear about how John 117 was a thing. And then Doomguy continued to be this silent badass who in my mind is me. And I'm Doomguy. And I would win against Master Chief.
That's the reality, the truth comes out.
It's true.
Did anybody else watch did anybody else, when it was on there, did anybody else watch 30 Rock, or am I the only one?
No.
Might be the only
I watched
one.
a lot of it.
I don't know if you saw, they had a reunion special I think it was last week, where they had like an hour long episode with everyone, and I started watching it, and I loved 30 Rock when it was on the air, and I started watching their reunion special, and I was very sad and disappointed because you're watching and it's like, oh, it's just an hour-long commercial for Peacock, which is NBC's new streaming platform. Like, to the point where Kenneth, who's one of the characters in 30 Rock, is now like an executive at NBC in the show, and he's like talking to some of the other characters. Like, I don't know. He's like, I picked all these shows for our new lineup, and I don't know if they're any good or not. And the other characters are like, well, why don't you show us some previews so we can tell you what we think about it? He's like, okay, well, here you go. Let me know what you think. And then the show cuts to a commercial, and you watch real previews for real shows that are coming out on their streaming service. And then it comes back from commercial, and they're like, all of those shows look amazing. You did a great job, Kenneth. It's like, oh, like the level of just like, I'm watching an hour-long ad. Like, it's not even the show I used to like anymore.
Was there at least good stuff between those moments?
I mean, yeah, there were a couple of good moments, but it was just so heavy-handed. It was just like, after the show's been off the air for so long that it was good to see the characters again, and some of the jokes were good, but it was really just like an hour-long commercial punctuated with smaller commercial breaks in the middle, which was really, really strange to have such a beloved show come back in a format like that.
Did y'all ever watch Community?
Yeah, I missed it, unfortunately. That's a great cast. Also, Peter just timed me out on chat.
Oh, did he really? Community is a great show. It reminded me of this, what you're talking about, Gus. There's an episode Trevor and I just watched where essentially the whole episode is about being susceptible to advertising and not really realizing it. And the whole show was kind of focused around Honda and like marketing the Honda to these students and stuff like that. And I was like, this is genius, because the plot of this episode is about advertising, and so they're able to work in product placement and advertising in such a way that makes sense to the episode. So it's not just like random and out there. It's a very in your face, like, yeah, the Honda CRV is great. It has this and that and this feature.
That's Dan Harmon, right? He did Community.
Yeah.
Now he's doing. Yeah. He is a brilliant. I mean, he and his team are great at advertising, because like the Rick and Morty advertisements, like you can tell that the client comes to them and then they're just like, we trust you, do whatever, and then he does it, and it's always effective, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like I
love
eat
them.
up
They're great
advertisements.
Yeah, like the one where they're on the subway with like the Wendy's breakfast.
Yeah,
it's like
there's like
eye contact with them.
There's like a potato chip one now that's like, it's funny. I laugh every time it comes.
They're great.
So you were talking about Fallout. I want like Fallout aside, because I'm not going to play that. What are the pieces of content?
Play Fallout 3.
What's the one piece?
Play New Vegas.
What's the one piece of content, like TV, movie, or video game, that you would just like, I absolutely have to consume? Because like for me, it would be like something like True Detective. Like that shit is a game changer.
Yeah, you're a big True Detective season 2 fan. I know.
No.
Season one only.
Season 3. No, 3 is fantastic.
3 is incredible. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen 3. I stopped after 2 because I didn't like it.
Like Gavin's earlier reaction, you are so lucky, Barbara, because you can go and watch all of season 3 of True Detective right now. It is so happy for fucking good. Yeah, you should watch that. If you have nothing else to watch, like you're running out of summer quarantine, watch that. It is amazing. I
just binged through Search Party, which Adam Kovic talked about on the podcast 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was fast.
We watched the entire series. Luckily, it's not done. We found out that they've been confirmed for another season, I think, in early 2021. But if you guys are sleeping on that show, you should definitely go check it out. It's on HBO Max. It's fantastic. It's very unexpected.
Cool. I will. I know. Right. It's a show that I've been meaning to.
Really love that feedback that you guys.
I'm trying, Barbara, but you're cutting me off as I'm trying to give you the feedback.
Sorry.
But yeah,
that was like nice podcast. So aggressive. It meant
I hate you.
I'm just fucking tired of telling stories or saying things and getting zero feedback from people.
Oh, I just haven't seen it. I remember Kovic talk about it, and it's definitely on my list. I just have
Search Party's
seen nothing of it.
It's one of those weird shows where I think it was on TBS first, and I know I saw the ads for it, and it was like something that I wanted to really watch, and I felt like it disappeared, but I guess they moved to streaming. Would you say there's like 3 seasons now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously they've been continuing it. It's just one of those things that I feel like I've heard a couple of people talk about, not a ton of people, but just it's never registered for me.
Are they still making it?
Yeah, she said
Or is
they're making a new season.
Okay, sorry. Because it's one of those shows where it's like, I feel like if it's such a good show, it just like it will continue to exist, and I like that happens. Like I think is it not Modern Family? What's the one with Ron Howard does the voiceover?
Arrested Development.
Arrested Development, yeah. It's like even
one.
if it gets dropped by its major network, like people will find a way of making it because it's just that good of a show.
It
I
looks
always
like
when that happens.
They took a long break with Search Party. It looks like, I guess this most recent season came out last month, but before that, the previous season started in November of 2017. So maybe that's why I felt like it had disappeared for a while.
Yeah, they apparently
like
had filmed the third season, and then didn't release it until HBO Max, I think, was debuted. So they were sitting on that season, even though they had filmed it for a long time, which I can't imagine as a fan of the show who had watched the previous seasons, like waiting for that and being pissed and knowing it was done and not being able to see it yet.
Who's in it?
Yeah, that's a 2.5 year gap that they sat on that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Who's in it? It's that girl from
Aaliyah Shawkat.
She's from I think it's Arrested Development, or
Yeah, she is.
yeah.
Yeah, she's.
I never watched Arrested Development, so I'm not 100% familiar with her, but she's great in it.
She was in a movie I watched this past weekend that I also texted Gavin about. But we are almost out of time here, so I don't want to get into it. Maybe I'll save it.
What a cliffhanger.
Maybe I'll save it for next episode. I would, but we can't go long. There's people right after us on RTTV. So I guess I want to say thank you to everyone for watching us and for hanging out with us. Stay tuned. We always have lots of content on RTTV. We got Inside Gaming Live coming up next. And I got really confused because I loaded the schedule and I heard our conversation from like 45 seconds ago, and I was like,
that'd be a new challenge.
Inside Gaming is coming up next, and we'll see you guys next week.
Doomguy
Bye.
beats Master Chief. Bye.
Boy.